USS Cleveland was the lead ship and one of the 28 United States Navy Cleveland-class light cruisers completed during or shortly after World War II. She was the second ship to be named for the city of Cleveland, Ohio. Cleveland was commissioned in June 1942, and saw extensive service in the war, in both the Mediterranean and Pacific theaters. Like almost all of her sister ships, she was decommissioned shortly after the end of the war, and never saw active service again. Cleveland was scrapped in the early 1960s. Construction and commissioning. On 1 November 1941, hull No. 423 was launched and christened USS Cleveland. Built by New York Shipbuilding Corporation of Camden, New Jersey, and sponsored by Mrs. H. Burton, Cleveland was commissioned on 15 June 1942 with Captain E. W. Burrow in command. Service history. Clearing Norfolk's Chesapeake Bay on 10 October 1942, Cleveland joined a task force off Bermuda bound for the invasion of North Africa, the first new class of ship to enter World War II. Her firepower supported the landings at Fedala, French Morocco on 8 November, and she remained on patrol until 12 November, returning to Norfolk on 24 November. Cleveland sailed for the Pacific on 5 December 1942, and arrived at Afate Island on 16 January. Her first mission in their consolidation of the Solomon Islands was with Task Force 18 to guard a troop convoy to Guadalcanal from 27 to 31 January. Cleveland fired on the enemy as she came under heavy air attack in the Battle of Rennell Island on 29–30 January. Joining TF-68, Cleveland steamed up the slot on 6 March 1943 to bombard Japanese airfields at Vila on Kolimbangara, then joined in the night action which sank the destroyers Mindgumo and Murasame in the Battle of Blackett Strait. Command of Cleveland passed to Captain Andrew G. Shepard in June. Still with TF-68, Merrill's Marauders, Cleveland fired in the bombardment of the Shortland Islands on 30 June and provided gun support for the invasion landings at Munda, New Georgia on 12 July. Following a short repair period at Sydney, Australia, Cleveland sailed for the pre-invasion bombardment of the Treasury Islands on 26–27 October. Her task force steamed to blast Booker Island and Bonas on 1 November in support of the troops invading Bougainville, dashed south the same day to neutralize bases in the Shortlands, and at night intercepted a Japanese force in the Battle of Empress Augusta Bay, which was to win her Navy unit commendation. Cleveland poured her radar-controlled fire into the 4 Japanese cruisers for over an hour, aiding in sinking Sendai, then chased the fleeing ships until daybreak. An air attack followed and one stick of bombs severely rocked Cleveland, who answered by splashing several of the enemy planes. She returned to Buka for another bombardment on 23 December, then patrolled between Truk and Green Island, Papua New Guinea from 13 to 18 February 1944 while American forces captured the latter. After supporting the capture of Emirau Island from 17 to 23 March, Cleveland sailed for replenishment and repairs at Sydney, Australia, then returned to the Solomons on 21 April to prepare for the Marianas operation. One practice bombardment on 20 May brought return fire unexpectedly which straddled the ship, but unharmed. She quickly silenced the shore batteries. For the 8th of June to the 12th of August, Cleveland participated in the Marianas Operation. On the 24th of July, during the invasion of Tinian, Cleveland came to the aid of the destroyer Norman Scott. Norman Scott was hit 6 times within a few seconds by shore batteries. Cleveland maneuvered between Norman Scott and the shore batteries, preventing her from taking any more hits. She conducted softening up bombardments and then gave fire support for invading troops until she joined TF-58 for the Battle of the Philippine Sea. On 19-20 June, although few enemy aircraft penetrated the screen of American carrier planes, Cleveland was credited with splashing at least one enemy aircraft and assisting in downing another of the few which did get through. From 12 to the 29th of September, Cleveland participated in the invasion of the Palaus, then sailed from Manus Island on the 5th of October for a stateside overhaul. She arrived in Subic Bay on the 9th of February 1945, and sailed on to bombard Corregidor on 13-14 February, effectively neutralizing the fortress before the landings there. Continuing to support the consolidation of the Philippines, she covered the landings at Puerto Princesa, the Visayas Panay, and the Malabang Pararang area on Mindanao. Cleveland put out from Subic Bay on the 7th of June to act as part of the covering force and provide fire support for the invasion landings at Brunei Bay, Borneo on the 10th of June. She returned to Subic Bay on the 15th of June, then sailed to Manila to embark General of the Army Douglas MacArthur and his staff as observers of the assault on Balikpapan. Arriving on the 30th of June, she fired in a pre-landing bombardment the next morning, and after General MacArthur had made an inspection tour of the landing area, got underway for Manila. Arriving on the 3rd of July, with a new cruiser task force, Cleveland sailed on the 13th of July to Okinawa, arriving on the 16th of July. For this base the force made a series of sweeps against Japanese shipping until the 7th of August to ensure Allied control of the East China Sea. Cleveland got underway from Okinawa on the 9th of September to support the occupation of Japan by covering the evacuation of Allied prisoners of war from Wakayama, then serving as part of a naval occupation group until the 6th Army made its landings on Honshu. After a short stay in Tokyo Bay, Cleveland sailed for Pearl Harbor, San Diego, the Panama Canal, and Boston, arriving on the 5th of December for overhaul. She operated out of Newport on various training exercises, including a Naval Reserve training cruise to Bermuda in April 1946 and Halifax, Nova Scotia, and Quebec in June 1946, before reporting to Philadelphia for inactivation. Cleveland was placed out of commission in reserve there on the 7th of February 1947, until sold for scrap the 18th of February 1960. Awards. In addition to her Navy Unit Commendation, Cleveland received 13 battle stars for World War II service. Commanding officers.